Hi, welcome to our bouldering qualifying event, Region 12 Judges Training. My name is Phil Atkinson. I'm here with Mark Williamson and Brian McCarthy. We are all regional coordinators and head judging officials in some capacity. And just like you, we are all volunteers. Everything about our qualifying events is volunteer, including you. So thank you for being here. We cannot put these events on without you. All right. So your primary role as a judge is to keep our participants safe and to be consistent in how you judge. And we're going to go over and talk about ways that you can do that. And if you have questions the day of the event, there will be a judges meeting before your event where you'll get more information and be able to ask questions. USA Climbing is affiliated with Safe Sport. It's a national organization that responds to suspicions of abuse or misconduct. And any participant or anyone can make confidential or anonymous reports online. And we will and do have QR codes posted around the gym. So what did you get yourself into? So if you've never judged before, you're going to a qualifying event, which means that there's a bunch of bouldering problems, which are routes that the climbers are going to be climbing. Each competition can be a little bit different, but in general, there's about 6 routes that each climber can climb. And we're going to have many different types of climbers, ages and genders there. As far as judging goes, we're going to hope to have 2 judges per lane. We'll have a primary judge and a secondary judge. And between the 2 of you, you'll be responsible for scoring and managing the climbers as they come to you. So what you'll end up doing is once you're all trained up and the competition is starting, is climbers will hand you their scorecard and you'll just stack them up with the first person coming at the top and then each person who comes after that on the bottom. And then you'll call out the climber's name. You'll say climber number 1, Joe, you're up. Climber number 2, Bob, you're on deck. You're then going to scan their route card before they start, and that's going to get it into your device. You'll be using your own personal device, and we'd like both of you to bring one in case you have a technical problem. You'll have the climber wait until you're ready, and then the climber will climb. And once they are done climbing, you will then score them, and we'll talk a lot more about what that means. Once they're done, you're going to either give them their scorecard back, or they're going to say, hey, put it back into my stack or into the bottom of the stack, and you'll do that and they'll wait their turn for next time. So really in a nutshell, that's it. That's all you need to do is you're managing cards as they come in, you're judging and giving a score, and you're going to record that score in your personal device and on their scorecard. And then you'll do that for the whole session. I'll say this now, if anything comes up, you're not sure of anything either before or during the event, just flag down someone with a black shirt with the USA Climbing on it, and we will quickly come over and help you. It is okay to make mistakes. One thing is to just be consistent. So if you call something a certain way, you want to be fair and do it the same way for other climbers. And again, if you have any questions, you can ask a question. You can pull somebody with a black shirt over. So we'll talk a little bit about scoring here. So scoring in bouldering works by either zones, and all problems have tops. So a problem may have a low zone or a zone or both. And they're going to be clearly marked with low zone or zone, and then a piece of tape to that hold. And then the top is always going to be labeled as well. The 4-point start is going to be labeled with 4 pieces of tape that you will see when you see your problem. For a competitor to score, they need to control either the low zone or the zone. And control here means achieving or changing a stable body position. And we will demonstrate this in the day of the competition. So to get a low zone or a zone, they only need to control it with one hand. To get a top, however, they need to have both hands. So they can have one hand on, and then they need to match and then still be in a stable position. A couple things to note about stable position or control. there's no time associated with it. You don't need to wait 2 seconds or 3 seconds. It's once they've gained control, they have control. So you're going to record that afterwards and write it on the paper as well. So a few specifics about what may or may not happen and what climbers can or can't do. First and foremost, from a safety perspective, if someone is actively bleeding, you don't let them start. They need to make sure that they take care of that before they get on the wall. The 4-point start, they just need to have 4 limbs on it. So and they can just tap it. They don't need to be stable for a long time on that. Their attempt starts when they get their entire body off the mat. And they can hop around a little bit, kind of searching for balance if they need to. And like we said, their attempt is going to end when either they get a top or whenever they fall, or if you call them off for some reason. So a few reasons why you may call them off. First and foremost is safety. So if there's any situation where you see like another climber on maybe another route or something dangerous is happening, you always have the discretion to call them off for safety. And we will deal with that as we go. If they touch something, if they touch another hold that's not one of the start holds, their attempt is over and they would get a 0 on that and they would need to resubmit. If they start bleeding while they're on the wall, like if they jump for something and have blood, you want to stop them, score them for that, and then have them come down. Or if they go off the route, like if they use a different hold than one of the holds that's designated for that route, you're going to call them off. It's okay if they accidentally touch it or kind of brush against it, but they can't be gaining an advantage from one of those holds. And there's a few other specifics that you'll learn about and we can demo once we're at the gym. Also, while they're on the wall, or actually before they're on the wall, not while they're on the wall, before they're on the wall, they're allowed to brush any holds that they want using their own brushes. They're allowed to touch the wall or the start holds, but no other. And they're allowed to ask you questions, so they can either before or while they're on the wall. So they could say, hey, am I controlling this zone? Am I getting this? And you can give them feedback at that time. They're also allowed to use volumes. So a volume, and again, we'll demo this, is something usually big and they may have holds on them. And so they're allowed to use volumes as long as it's not blocked off by tape. Again, we'll show if it's applicable in the competition. Lastly, as far as being on the wall goes, you have the opportunity to call a technical, or actually, sorry, the climber has the opportunity to call a technical if anything happens that results in a disadvantage or unfair advantage that's outside of the climber's control. So the most common thing that may happen that would lead to a technical is if a hold spins or breaks. And in those instances, the climber needs to call the technical immediately. So they can't climb past it. They can't get off the wall and say, hey, that spun. In that case, we would just score it. If they do call a technical, they're going to get another attempt. So they're going to come off the wall. You would call one of us over and we'd have a setter fix whatever is there. Same thing would happen is if you were to notice another climber's blood on the wall from a previous climb, we would stop whatever is happening. You would call a technical and you would call them down. A couple other things on scoring. Attempts matter. So every time that someone comes to you is an attempt. So you're going to be giving them a score of either 0, low zone, zone, or top every single time. And there is a limit to the number of attempts that they can do on a per route basis. And that will vary depending on the competition. But your device and the scoring app that we use will let you know what that number is. And we'll also let you know as a judge during the judges meeting. If a climber is bleeding, it is not your responsibility to stop the bleeding. So you can have the climber come down and we will have a medical professional at the gym who can help them, or they can go to their parent or to a coach. As a judge, parents and coaches should not be directly talking to you. So if they have any issues or questions about the call, they should go to their coach, and the coach can come to the head judging official if need be. Or you can refer them to the head judging official for your event. While a climber is on the wall, no one should be giving them specific instructions, which we call beta, while they're on the wall. So again, if you see that happening, you can raise your hand and have one of us come over and we can help with the situation. But in general, if you don't feel like you're being respected in any way, shape, or form by anyone, by a climber, a parent, or a coach, please call us over and we will address the situation.